Hi, my name is Paul Grogan. Welcome to the first in a series of videos for Reign of Hades, a new game from Legend Crafters coming to GameFound in March 2024. In this video, I'm joined by the designers of the game, Richard and Attila, who are teaching me the game whilst we play through the Prologue tutorial scenario. And although this video is the best place to start to learn about the game, there will be some spoilers as the game is made up of a series of scenarios, each of which has a strong story element. A big thank you to Legend Crafters for sponsoring this video, and also to all of my Patreon supporters who make everything possible. So we are all set up, ready to play the prologue scenario from Reign of Hades. I'm joined today by the two designers of the game. Welcome, Richard.
Hi.
And also Attila. Thank you very much for joining me.
Hi.
And what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be showing people how the game plays. One of you is going to be doing the explanation, a sort of very high-level overview of what the game is, and then we're going to be playing a two-player game today. This is being filmed with a prototype copy of the game. This video is being created in preparation for the GameFound campaign, which is going to be going live on March the 20th. So everything you see here is a prototype. The physical final components of the game will look a bit different from this. Make sure you check out the campaign page for the full details. And also the rules that we're playing with today are the rules as they are right now. And I can't guarantee that these will be the exact final rules when the game comes out, because the designers will keep working on the game to make sure it's as good as it can be. So if you're watching this video in a year and a half's time when the game comes out, don't watch this video, go and watch somebody else's video instead, which might be mine. I might do one of the final game, I don't know. But yeah, what I'm saying is this video will give you a good idea of how the game plays, but yeah, might not be the exact final rules. Okay, so first of all, high-level overview, what is Reign of Hades?
Okay. Hey, we are so glad to finally be here together and playing a game today. So about the quick overview of what the game is. This is a cooperative campaign game for 1 to 4 players. So there will be a dedicated solo mode included, and also a special 3-player variant, because the game has a unique way of putting teams together. Even though it's cooperative, there will be still teams playing simultaneously during play. So that's something very special about it.
Okay.
And we will go through the story through different scenarios. So there you have the campaign book, which has different scenarios. So you will just flip to the next, that one. So once we're done with the first, this is actually a prologue scenario. So it's not technically part of the campaign, but it's for teaching you the game. So if you replay the campaign, which is completely possible, and we didn't even get bored of the first couple of scenarios we've been developing in the last couple of months to make sure that they're ready to show. But the prologue scenario is not necessarily to replay. It's for teaching the game and telling you the basics of how the story basically kicks off.
Okay, so your intention is then that people will play the prologue the first time they play the game in order to help learn it, but if you were to then replay the campaign, you wouldn't play the prologue scenario again.
Not necessarily, but it's fun. So I would. It doesn't add anything to the campaign, because the game just restarts after the prologue scenario. That's how. This is the story of how the gods lose their powers, how they lose their divinity.
Right.
And we start off like a blank page, and that's where you start the campaign. So if you want, you can replay the prologue scenario, maybe just to remind you of how the game is played. That's completely fine. But if you just finish the other campaign, you might want to just skip it.
Okay, got it. And the characters that we're playing today, I've chosen to play Athena, and we've also got Zeus as well. There were 4 characters included in this box. Are they the 4 characters that are going to be included in the campaign?
Yes, we already revealed a 5th character, Poseidon, and we'll see about how well the campaign goes. I mean, yes. The characters add a lot of stuff to the game, like not just the miniature, but also like different cards with different artwork for the different levels, and also unique cards to play. So they have their own hand of cards. They have their own weapons to play. So there are a lot of things going into the box if we open a new character. So we'll see about that. But we're rooting for new characters for the deluxe version, and the retail version is planned to have these 4 characters.
Right. Okay. Now we've pretty much done most of the setup. There are some additional components off camera, and what you're seeing here is just the components that you need for this prologue scenario. There's a whole bunch of stuff over to my right, which we're going to be using for the next videos. But yeah, we're all set up for a 2-player game of the prologue scenario. And today, since I have not played the game and I don't know how to play the game, we're going to be doing a teach and playthrough where you're going to be teaching me how to play. But rather than giving me the full rules up front, you're just going to be teaching me as we're going along. Just make sure I don't do anything silly like jump off a cliff or something like that. So,
yeah, I mean that's why the two of us is here, so we can just notice everything. So I invite you, Attila, to help me explain the rules. Like for this scenario, I'm gonna be playing, but we're here. The both of us is here to give some ideas of like advanced rules and advanced things to consider when you play the game, and also if there was an oversight or something we forgot to mention. Yeah. For instance.
Shall we just go? Should we just go into one of the characters first and just show off one of the characters and explain what we've got? So in the next video, we're going to be flipping this over, and it is a dual layered player board. But because the prologue uses this fixed setup, it's not dual layer on this side because this is only for the prologue scenario. But you've got a character card which goes in the middle of your board. You've got 5. Did you call it vigor? I think you called it vigor.
Ichor. I think that's yeah.
Okay, so 5 ichor at the top. There's nothing else on here, but in addition to that, there is this, which is a whole series of player dials. So we have divinity, which starts at 0. We have nectar, which starts at 5. Might, which starts at 1. Spark, which starts at 2, and carrying capacity depends on your character. So whereabouts is the carrying capacity printed on the character?
So I don't see it.
Okay.
But yeah, I have it in front of me. It's 3.
Okay, so it's 3 for Zeus. And what about for Athena?
Yeah, I have to remind myself to rather look at the components in front of me than the image there.
I think it's 3 for Athena
3 for
as well.
Athena. I can see it on there. Yeah, 3 for Athena. So that's the carrying capacity. Now I don't know what any of those attributes do, but that will become clear over the course of the game. So now, one thing that we do have just to the left of the map is we have all of this. Now this is an awful lot of text, but you said to me just before we started that this is because this is a learn to play scenario. So there's a lot of information on here, and the future scenarios won't have this much information on. It is literally designed to help you learn the game and get started with it. So is this pretty much a summary of the rules of the game then?
Yes, that's what you will learn to use and how to play the game. Actually, it's short, so not everything is written up there, but just focusing what you can do, how you resolve the combat, and so on, how you interact with the game. And what the different icons mean and how to resolve them basically. And what the scenario specific is just the top left corner where you see the objectives, which is kept very simple in this case. Right.
So let us know about this scenario. What's the story behind this particular scenario?
Okay, it's a simple story. Hades invites all the Olympian gods to his wedding party because his plan to marry with Persephone, Zeus's daughter. But the Olympian gods don't know that it's a trap, and Hades poisoned all the Olympian gods and imprisoned them. And so this is the prologue mission where we find out how it happens. So in this mission, at the beginning of this mission, we realized that we are poisoned. This is why we have this poison condition card. And unfortunately, our weapons are not with us. So we have to find some other stuff around the environment and fight against the monsters.
Okay. So and if we look at the map, here, we are at some kind of very nice looking place, but there is a banquet table with a salad bar at one end and meat plates at the other end.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are in the Palace of Hades right now, at the wedding, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, there are these little miniatures with spears that look quite angry.
Yes, those are the monsters.
Right. So what are they doing here? Or is this because it was an ambush or something?
Yeah, it's an ambush, absolutely.
So we have to find our way out. So we have to check all the doors around this room.
Yeah.
This is the main objective here, and maybe one of these doors will be open, and we will see.
Right.
But to be honest, this is the prologue, and the story is about we have to escape from Tartarus, so and the underworld. So it means that.
Don't have high hopes.
Yes,
Okay.
Something bad will happen.
Right. Yeah, you asked about the monsters. We actually call those encounters because they're not the actual monsters, but rather representing an encounter with a monster.
Right.
So whenever you encounter a monster, you will draw a card where you will see the actual monster with the unique illustration, unique effects, and unique stats of the monster. This system allows us to have dozens of different unique monsters in the game throughout the whole scenario without having to give you thousands of different miniatures.
Right, okay, so all of these miniatures look the same, but that's just a miniature representing the fact that there is an encounter there, and what the actual monster is going to be drawn from the deck. Got it.
Yes. If there is a special boss or a mega boss, for instance, we will have those shown on the campaign. Then, of course, those represent the actual monster which we will fight on the map.
Yes, and there is a special monster included in the box. Is that for scenario 1 or 2? 2.
Scenario 2. But that's kind of like a surprise.
Okay.
But of course, it's there. So
it's there. So this isn't scenario 1. This is the prologue. And we're actually going to be filming 2 videos today. So the first video we're filming today, which is this one, this is the prologue. And then later on today, and I'll be releasing this as a separate video on the channel, we're going to be playing through scenario 1. Okay, so give us a high level overview. I see that there is a round structure in front of me, so I'm assuming that the game is played in a series of rounds.
Yes, until we meet our objectives. Or until we fail the scenario, we are going to play through a series of rounds. And once we meet the objectives, then it's optional to, especially with the 3 and 4 players, where we will both teams will play a whole round. Then it's optional for the players to just finish the other part where all the players can play equal rounds, or just move on. But players might want to pick up some more weapons or maybe do some upgrades and stuff on this mission, so they have the option to then just finish their round and play equal round.
Okay. So our objective is we need to find a way out, which is basically going through these open door spaces until we find an open door, and then we get out.
Yes.
Yeah, until you find a way out, yes.
Right. Okay. Now, I've noticed, if we have a look at the map, that we've both started on an area that has an open door. Does that mean that we can actually potentially escape right from the start, or are they not valid spaces?
So actually, it doesn't mean there is an open door there. It's actually like there is an action there to open the door.
Okay.
But that's actually a good. Maybe we should change the name for that.
Okay.
So you're playing the challenge open door. So then you go there and open the door to see what's behind the door. Basically, that's how you should imagine it.
Okay. Yep.
For that, we have a deck of cards, or you have a deck of cards there.
Yes.
Those ones. And then once you play, we will get to how the game is played soon. So.
Okay. Now, just looking at the components and what we've got here, I can see that this condition card says you are poisoned. -1 ichor at the start of each round. If you lose all of your ichor, you are defeated. So one question, when one of the characters is defeated, does the other characters carry on playing, or is that scenario over?
It's scenario over if you're playing on a hard difficulty, but if you can set the difficulty by using the unconscious or dying conditions, It's actually one condition card with two different sides. You have them some place, I think maybe on top left place to the side. So yeah, so you either get the unconscious or the dying condition, and the other can revive you. They still have some time to revive you. If it's an easy casual game, then with the unconscious version, you first turn dying and then eventually fail the mission, but it's quite hard, especially in the early missions. And actually, there was just quite a last minute change about when you lose that I-core, because we moved the upkeep phase to the end of the round.
Right.
Technically, nothing changed. It happens the same part, just how we should put it into a sentence. Technically, it happens at the end of the round now.
Okay. Right, so we're going to play through our first round, and at the end of the round, during upkeep,
that's when you lose the I-core.
We're going to lose the I-core. Got it. Right then. So, talk me through this round structure. It says wave 1 and wave 2, and then upkeep.
Okay, so I would rather start playing if you're open to it, and then we'll go through it as we play.
Okay.
So first, let's see where we start. Take the fighting position cards. You have the alpha team fighting position cards set aside. Are those the alpha? I mean, it doesn't matter. It can be the beta team as well. But yeah.
But just to let people know, we're using 2 of these cards because we're a 2-player game, and they've got the alpha symbol on, which is what you would play if you're playing a 2-player game. If we were playing a 4-player game, there's 2 more cards which have got beta on. And would you just shuffle these and completely deal them out at random to the players?
Yes, exactly. That's what happens. And that happens at the end of each complete cycle. So with 4 players, that's like 2 rounds, basically. And there's like an interesting way of how we do this on the other side of the round structure. For that, we will use that Hades coin we put aside for now, but that one. So that just marks if this is the A round or the B round. In the A round, both teams take 1 wave, and in the B round you take the other wave. Like you'll be both on battlefield and in cover during a round. And that's what makes this sure. Like in a 2-player game, it's simple because in wave 1 you're on battlefield, and in wave 2 you're in cover.
Right.
You're just switching positions between the 2.
Okay. So what do we do with these cards then?
So just shuffle them and deal them out randomly to the 2 players.
Right.
And then place them face up so we see where they start.
So Athena is battlefield.
Athena will start in the awesome.
And Zeus is cover.
Okay, so now remember we have those player aids. Athena's player aid is set to the battlefield side, and Zeus is to the cover side, so that's perfect.
Okay, so these player aids are 2-sided, and you will, based on which card you've been dealt, you will flip your player aid to that side, and that side is going to show you all of the things that you're going to be doing. So Athena is on battlefield, Zeus is on cover. Right.
Exactly, and these will tell you what you can do during your turn. So you will see what happens exactly. Like there is like the monsters engage phase where you will draw monster cards based on how many encounters there is in the zone. So let's start with that. Mm-hmm. So let's see, Athena moves out of the cover area. That before we do that, I think we haven't explained that how the map works.
Yeah.
Right? So let's talk about the zones.
Yeah, the boards are divided into these different zones, which are separated by these white dashed lines. The arrows indicate that you can move from that zone to another one, but also you have these other zones which are shaded in a darker shade with the sort of blue dotted line, and these represent the cover areas. There won't ever be any monsters or encounters in these areas. It's just kind of where the players start from. What I wasn't clear about is, can you actually move into these areas afterwards?
Oh, that's representing your fighting position. So the card you have been dealt.
Right.
So that's like if you're in cover, then you're in the cover area. If you're on the battlefield, then you're in the battlefield area.
Right.
You just move back to the cover at the end of your battlefield turn anyway. and then you will either move back to the battlefield or stay in cover and do different actions.
Right.
And,
So each of these zones actually has a cover area within the zone.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Athena has got the battlefield card. So Athena is actually going to step out of cover and into the battlefield area.
Exactly. And because there is an encounter there, now you need to draw a monster.
So because there's an encounter here, we draw a monster. So we have, these are the various monsters. Now, are these the monsters for this particular scenario, or are these the monsters in the game?
This particular scenario, as you said.
Right.
It was important for us to have variety in the game as we progress.
Yep.
These monsters will eventually return later on, maybe even in a different form. But for the prologue scenario, they're very powerful. So they will have they're strong. They have a lot of stamina, which is their health basically. So they're quite hard to defeat. But we will start the scenario with the less powerful god.
Right.
So we won't need to fight these strong monsters.
Okay.
We will start off with less strong monsters. Hades will save the stronger monsters for later levels for us.
Right. Now, before we started, we actually dealt the top card of this deck to here, where it says Sentinel Monsters. Is that going to come in later on?
Yes, so that's actually a very important part of the game. We need to pay attention to the Sentinel board, because if there are certain ways monsters will become Sentinels, that's actually what I mentioned about moving back to cover is part of that. So if you move back to cover and there are still monsters in front of you haven't defeated yet, then they don't find you, so they become Sentinels, actively looking for you or the others. And if there are too many monsters around, this is like a threat level, then that might trigger the end of the game on either a hard difficulty or, like in this case, there are certain scenarios which don't allow you to lower the difficulty, and they will just trigger the end of the game.
Yeah,
right
got
away.
it. Okay, so Athena is in the battlefield, so we're going to reveal this monster. And we're actually I'm going to show you the card here. So this is actually the same as one of the Sentinel monsters that's come out. So describe this card a little bit, because we've got a few numbers on this card.
In the right corner, there is the stamina. Yeah, we call it. This is the health of the monster. If we reduce it to 0, we killed it. There is a die space in the middle of the card. We have to put an assigned die to the monster. We will talk about it later, but this is how we fight against the monster. Below that, there is what we call infliction ability of the monster. In some cases, a monster can perform his special ability against us. This nymph can do this spell ability. On the left side, there is an eye symbol. Yes, we call it vigilance. From the cover, the characters can attack the monsters too from the darkness, and this is the value how the monster can see us or notice us. And the other side of the card, the right side of the card, there is a small
I can just see it. Yeah,
number. This is it's hard to see. This is the energy level of the monster, because if we defeat a monster, we can drain her energy out, and we can transform this energy into one of our resources, might or spark.
Okay. Right.
We'll talk about it later.
So that's the enemy. So that's going to go here. Is that right?
Yeah, you don't need to place it into the slot, actually, because if they're in the slot, they count as a lured monster.
Oh, right.
But if you move back into cover, then you can distract these monsters, like lure them to you, and then they will follow you. They are still just actively looking for you, and whenever you step out of the shadows and go on the battlefield, then they will attack you again. And that's good for you, because then this monster will not go on the Sentinel board,
Right.
Because of the reasons I mentioned before.
Yes.
If it's full and you would need to add the monster there, then that can trigger the end of the game.
Yeah. Okay. So for now, I just put it somewhere in front of me.
Yes, or you can put it on top of the player board. That's fine. I just mentioned that they're not technically in those slots because those are for
That's fine. We'll pop it on there. Right. So we've drawn monsters. The next step on the sequence is distract or release lured monsters. I don't have any lured monsters at the moment.
Exactly. So you can skip that.
Yeah.
And that was actually Monsters Engage subphase. So that was it. Basically, it would be much quicker if we haven't explained everything here. So basically, you just drew monster card.
Drew monster card, put it in front of me. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we move on to the take actions and bonus actions phase, which is how you play the game, basically. You have a bunch of cards in front of you in your hand, technically. These are, we call it a hand, but you can just, it's an open information for the rest of the players, so you can just place it in front of you on the table. These are what you can do actions. There are 3 types of those cards. It's better to see the back. Thank you. That's a good idea. So the ones with the green background are your main action cards, which are for triggering the actions shown on the player board. And as you see, each of these cards have 2 sides, a yellow side and a blue side, and you can just align them in a way to match your fighting position. So make sure that for Athena, these cards are aligned with the yellow part on top, exactly. And those will show you an icon with this symbol with a battlefield icon in it. That represents a battlefield main action, which are shown on the left of your player board.
These. Got it.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes. Actually, we covered most of these actions already, or if we haven't, they are quite intuitive or usual in a game like this. So the first one is movement. Move.
I'm just going to show you on Zeus's board.
Right.
So these are the different battlefield actions. So just to clarify, Zeus can't do these because Zeus is in cover mode. But we're just showing you this board. So these are the 5 possible actions. And I've got 3 of these cards in hand. Does that mean I could move 3 times, or I could move once, start a combat, and then discover?
Yeah, each of those, actually, you can pick your actions freely in any order. So, but your limitation is the number of cards you have and the number of card slots on the bottom of your player board. So now you have, at the start of the game, you have 3 of these cards, but these cards will also improve as you move further in the campaign.
Got it. Okay.
And we are now limited to 4 card slots, but we also have a way to free up slots later on. So those are basically our limit.
So we're not going to go through the individual actions at the moment. I'm happy that you explain those to me as we play. Let's have a look at another type of card.
Okay, so let's see the yellow ones. Those are quite simple to explain at this point. So this is what moves the story forward. The challenge card will allow you to face a challenge. Challenges are always tied to the zone where you are in, with some exceptions. But in the missions we're going to play, they are usually just tied to the very zone you are in with your character. This means that by playing a challenge card, you can now face the open door challenge to see what you find behind the door.
Okay. And if you were in cover mode, you still get to do the challenge.
Yes, of course. That's only true if the challenge shows a cover symbol, which is not true in this mission at all. So for now, you won't be able to face challenges in cover, but in the next scenario, there will be new challenges in play, which you can then face in a cover.
So just to clarify, because just on the map, all of the challenge icons appear to be in cover zones.
Oh yeah, let us look at the map and I will explain to what I'm referring.
There you go. Okay.
So if you see there is a yellow icon there, that's what I'm. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
You can only do this in battlefield.
Right. Okay. So just graphically, because the thing was in a cover area, I thought it could only be done if you're in cover, but it's not. It's based on that icon.
Yeah. Like they're unrelated to which part they are in. So they're just part
so I should say, in
then.
this scenario, if you are in cover mode, you can't do any of the challenges because all of the challenges require you to be in battlefield mode. Right.
Yes, but that's just because this is only teaching the basics, and from the first scenario on, you will have enough cover scenarios, like almost, or challenges, like almost the same amount as you have on the battlefield.
Yeah. Okay.
They are usually not the mandatory ones, so these probably won't move the story forward, just with some rare exceptions. But they are nice optional challenges you can do and help and move the story forward and keep yourself entertained while the other player is fighting a monster.
Okay. And the last type of card?
Those are we call it the feat action cards. We use them in the middle of a combat.
Okay.
There are symbols on there we'll talk about later, but the most important thing here is that the yellow side of the feat cards you can use in your against your opponents, but in cover he used the blue side of the cards to help to support your teammate. So this is how the cooperation comes to the place.
So right now, Athena can only use the yellow side of the cards, and they will help Athena in combat, whereas Zeus can use the blue side of the cards, but he's using those cards in Athena's combat.
Yes, that's right.
Right, got it.
This
okay.
How Zeus supports her. Yeah.
So it's Athena's turn. I am taking actions. I have all of these action cards available to me, but I only have 4 card slots. So feel free to run my first turn for me just while I'm learning the game. What should I do first?
I mean, it's up to you. So you can start by playing a challenge card to see what's behind the door. So you don't have to worry about the monster in front of you. Like, that's entirely up to you when you want to engage with that monster.
Right.
We call it engaged monsters because it's engaged. It's with you right now, and you have to do something about it. If you don't, then the monster will resolve its infliction ability on you, and then at the end of your round, move to the sentinel track.
Right. Okay. Well, let's do that then. Let's play this challenge card. And I'm going to try and... So I put it in my first slot here.
Okay.
And it's got the challenge icon on it, but it's also got or something else. Now, I'm going to assume that doesn't apply at the moment.
Yes, that's for a future scenario.
Right. So how do I resolve this challenge to open the door?
Okay, so you just take yes, you can draw 1 card and read it. Just before you do that, so we don't forget, just take a utility cube, those white cubes you have, and just mark that challenge done by placing it into the respective slot.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've drawn a nasty grip. So it says, Hades' dog ensnares you with its extremely long tongue and tightens its grip around you with a menacing force. Play an action card into an action slot without using its effect to break free. Lose an ichor if you can't. Cerberus tosses you into the pool. Move your character miniature into the pool zone. This is not considered a move action. There is no way out. Discard this card. So lots of different things on there.
Yeah. So there are 2 things you need to do. Like, you need to play an action card into your action slots. You still have action cards and slots too, so you don't have to lose an ichor, or you will not.
So it says action card. That's literally one of these then.
The main action ones, those ones.
Done.
Okay, so that's like technically what you're doing now is you're using your action to break free.
Yeah.
And you break free, but the monster tosses you into the pool, which is in the middle of the map.
Okay.
So you just move your character there. Yeah. And it's not considered a move action, so you don't have to do anything else.
Right.
Because otherwise, if you move into another zone, you also need to draw another monster card.
Right. Okay.
This will have some more rules to it from next scenario on, but in the prologue mission, that's what would happen normally. Right now, you don't have to do that.
Great. Right. So we know that that's not the way out. Well, what I'm now going to do is let's try. So I'm now in an area with 2 encounters. So let's encounter one of them. So I'm going to play this as an action, and I can move, I can discover, I can start combat, I can lure, and I can drain. So let's start a combat. So how does that work then?
Okay, 2 options you have right now. So maybe you can pick a weapon from the market first.
Yes, because we have no weapons.
You don't have weapons. Yeah, that's right. But you have an ability on your character card. Only one ability is available in the prologue mission, which called Brawl. So this is the bare hand fight. So you can use that one. You only have 1 empty slots right now. So
no. He has 2 because he just placed that card there. So if you do what Attila says, you don't need to place that card, which is a good idea to do now because you lost both the card and the slot. So maybe it's a good idea to brawl with the monster instead. So you just keep the card instead.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying that because my character card has a special ability printed on it, that I can do that and it doesn't cost me an action.
That's considered a bonus action. If you take a look at the player aid, there are the actions, which we have 3 types of, which we clarified, and there are some bonus actions, one of which is to activate or refresh the ability. Refreshing means that you spend the Nectar cost on printed on top, and then you move it back up, so you can reuse your ability.
Well, let's do that then.
The abilities, okay, go ahead.
So I'm gonna slide this card down on my player board. And as you say, that's revealed an icon at the top, which I can spend that cost to put it back up. And I'm getting to Brawl. Now, the iconography here says it's got a fist icon, and it's got a red dice with a Roman numeral 2 above it.
Yeah. It means that you don't have to roll the die. It says that you have to set it to the, we call it rank 2, so the side 2.
So we've got, these are the red dice. These are the combat dice that are going to be used in the game. And you're saying rather than rolling it, I literally just set it to number 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is your brawl.
Right.
At the moment.
Okay, but normally you would roll it and then you would get...
there is nothing like that in this game normally.
Okay.
So it's one of the effects. So sometimes the weapon tells you to roll it, sometimes it tells you to set it, or sometimes it's a combination of both. Roll this type of die and set the other type of die, and then what you have in your pool, your die pool or dice pool, those are the pool dice you need to now assign to monsters.
Right.
So you have 1 monster in front of you. You don't. Otherwise, you could decide which monster you would assign it to.
Right.
And if there are no more monsters in front of you without a die and without being resolved, then you can also assign dice to monsters on the Sentinel track. So there is a way for you to remove monsters from there and help you there.
Right. So me putting a dice on this, that doesn't mean that I've dealt any damage to it. It just means that I've assigned a dice to it. Is that right?
You start the combat, basically. In this case, you always just start the combat, and once you are ready, or once you run out of resources to modify what you have in the combat, then you decide to end the combat. So I'm not sure if you placed the die with the right facing, but probably it should be rank 2.
Yeah, it's got 2. So it's got 1 in like a starburst.
Yeah, that's good then. So that means that this monster would hit you. This explosion sign is the damage you receive from the monster.
Right.
There is the strike symbol, which is like an arrowhead, which is the damage you deal to the monster. If you take a look at the player or the left side of the map, there is the combat icon.
Yes, you can see down here.
Right there. Yeah. You will see these explained how they work. We talked about the inflation, so it should be clear.
So go through with me why me starting that brawl was a good idea, because it was a fixed die, and that fixed die means that it's actually going to hit me for 1 damage.
Yeah.
So why was that good for me?
Yeah, if you would resolve it, yeah.
Yes.
But you have two slots still, so you can modify this die.
Also, you have me. Don't forget about me.
Yes.
I have some cards in hand.
Zeus is in the corner hiding behind the table eating some chicken legs.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. And sometimes it's just eating. If you can resolve this problem by yourself, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So go through with me these cards now.
For you.
Right. Oh, are you going to play a card now then?
Yeah, I can. I don't have to. I mean, you can take a look at your cards.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I could help you with. Like, I do have a reroll. Right. Which makes sense in case of a red die, because anything above rank 2 would damage the monster. But let's see what you have.
Okay, so let's see what I have. Again, I'm just going to zoom in on Zeus's board just to have a look at these cards. So these are the 4 different options that I've got. That presumably is a reroll.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. That increases the die by 2 levels.
We have 3 levels of 3 types of dice. So we have a yellow one, blue one, and red one. Red one is the strongest one. So this icon means that if we have for instance, a yellow die, we can upgrade it to a blue one.
Right.
Or a blue die, we can upgrade to a red one.
Right.
But in this case, you cannot use it because red is the
I'm already at red.
Top.
Right. So forget that one.
Yeah.
What about this one then?
Yeah, this one is interesting. You can demote the red die to a blue one, but you can add two, if I remember well, because I cannot see it, but yeah, add the 2.
So it would turn into a blue 4.
Yes.
Right, and a blue 4 means that I deal 2 damage to it, but it deals 1 damage to me. Okay? Got it?
Yes.
Yeah, we can do that.
And what's this one then? I'm going to guess that protects me from 2 damage.
Yes.
If there is a 2 printed in the middle, then yes.
Yes.
We don't see it on the...
Okay. Well, I tell you what, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to play Feint, and I'm going to re-roll it, because as you say, a 2 is not a great result for a red dice. So let's see what we get. So I've rolled a 4. Now a 4 on the red dice is me dealing it 4 damage.
Yeah, it's great.
I think we're good. I don't think we need to play anything else because it's only got 4 stamina. So perfect.
Yeah. And if you want, you can now do the resolve combat bonus action. So let's see what that does. Yeah.
So I can do the bonus action of resolving the combat before I've finished playing these. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's resolve this combat then.
Okay. So if you don't kill the monster, you just tap it once. But because you killed it, you tap it twice, so it should be upside down.
Right. Okay.
Like that.
And is it now...
Okay, then you remove the die.
Remove the die, yep.
Yeah, and that's done. So,
so does this stay here then?
Yes. For now, yes.
Okay.
Until the end of your round, and then it will be discarded. But it's there because, remember, you can still loot stuff from the defeated monsters. We call it drain because you're not technically taking away like physically tangible things from them, but rather drain their energy as you're still having your godlike power.
Right.
So you can, if you do the drain action, which is the bottommost on your player board, exactly, then you could take up to 2 sparks and up to 2 might. But remember that the yellow icon below the stamina of the monster tells you the top their energy level, so it's the cap of how much resource you can take from them. And in case of a nymph, that's 2. So you either take 2 sparks or 2 mites or one of each, basically.
So that's this icon here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I mean, that seems all right.
Let's say you do that. Why not?
So I'm going to play this action and I'm going to drain, and it's a maximum of 2 spark and a maximum of 2 might, but I'm limited by this value on the card.
Yes.
Because that says 2, I can either have 2 might, 2 spark, or 1 of each. So
yeah. So because you haven't picked up a weapon yet, you might want to prepare for your next round to buy like a more expensive weapon, because the weapons in this game, you're not buying them on the market from a dwarf or something like that.
Yep.
You're just discovering these weapons in the environment. Sometimes they're not even real weapons, like in this case. So you need some creativity and ingenuity. That's why we call this resource spark.
right.
So you're collecting that, and you see that there are some weapons on the market which require you to spend up to 4 spark. So that might make sense.
Okay.
Also, might is something you would spend on a certain more powerful card, for instance, just to give you an idea of.
Okay. So buying these weapons, and to give people watching, we have a broken bottle, a chair, a pork leg, a skewer, a tray, and a table leg. Again, it's just the prologue, but these are the weapons available to us. How do I buy one of these? Is that a bonus action, or do I need to be in a particular space?
Oh, that's also a main action. That's the second one from top. We call it discover.
Discover, right? Okay.
Yeah. You pick up a loot token from the zone you are in, and you choose a weapon or that type of, in this case, only weapons. But
right.
And then you choose a weapon you can buy from the market. It shows you to spend spark and carry capacity, because some of the weapons will also require you to spend carry capacity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But because you ran out of your slots, that's something for next round.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. Now we've still got 2 miniatures on the map in my area. Is that still correct, even though I've kind of cleared one of them?
Yes.
Right.
Those will only be triggered at the beginning of your turn when you move out of the cover.
Okay.
Or in later scenarios, the number of encounters will also taken into consideration when deciding if you draw a card because of moving or not. Right. But that's an advanced rule we will learn later on.
Got it. Right. So I've played my 4 actions. I did my bonus action, which was using my ability. I could, if I wanted to, refresh my ability now, which would cost me 2 nectar. But because it's a bonus action, I'm going to hang fire on doing that. What else can I do on my turn, or is that pretty much it for me?
Yeah, you're pretty much done.
Yeah.
Remember, I offered you to play a feint myself, so I could have rerolled the die for you. And in that case, you would still have like an extra slot. So what did you say we did that instead? And then you still have an extra slot.
Okay, so instead of me playing that, we said that you played that, so that goes in your slot.
I played it, exactly.
Right.
Because in the top left corner, you see the range. And because I cannot support you all the time, only if we are within range. Right. And that says 0 to 2 zone in range. And we're in an adjacent zone.
Yeah, so all of these cards, when you're helping somebody else, has a range requirement on them.
Yeah.
Right. And at the moment, I'm 1 away from you, I think.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Great. So that goes there. You did that, which means I've actually still got 1 action. So let's do that. Let's do that discover then. So I'm going to play an action card, and it is going to be to discover, and I'm in a zone with one of these weapon tokens. So do I remove that token?
Yes, you remove it and then pick a weapon from the market.
Okay, well, I have 3 spark. So let's have a skewer. Right, so I spend my spark. I now have a skewer. and the skewer has got a carrying or an encumbrance value or whatever it is of 1. So my carrying capacity goes down to 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. We'll go through what that does later on, but that's now it. That's my turnover, I think.
Yeah.
So is that wave 1 done then?
No, actually, because I still have 3 slots. Remember, we are playing simultaneously, so I could also do my turn.
Right. Okay.
And I'll be quick about this. The first option would be to sneak around, but I want to stay here so I can open the door in my in the next wave.
So let's just have a look at your options. Your actions are sneak, heal, lure attack, or rest.
Yes. So I'll just take. So yeah, I told about sneak. Heal, I can because I'm at my maximum health for now, but we will just lose 1 health by default because we are poisoned very soon. Then we have the lure attack, which is a cool action and one way for the cover player to actually involve in some fight. With that, I can attack 1 monster on the Sentinel track, which is another nymph, right?
It is, yeah.
Let me just place it for here for myself. So let's do a lure attack then. I'm placing yes, with that action card you already placed. Cool. Yep. I'm taking a lure attack, so you can move that monster, that nymph, from the track to actually my first lure slot right there.
Okay.
And as part of the action, I also roll the fate die, the white one. So I'll be rolling it, and I will tell you. You can roll it too.
I can roll it. Yep. So you've rolled a 1.
Okay, that's not very good. That's why I wanted to roll myself, you know. Okay, so that's it says X plus 2, which means 1 plus 2. The plus 2 is a modifier because we are still strong, but you will start the campaign without any modifiers.
Right.
So that means my value is 3 right now, and the vigilance of the monster, the eye icon, is 5. So because I couldn't meet that number.
But there is another chance to modify the fate die outcome with how to say resource boost.
Yes, if you take a look at your shield board, the shield board at the might resource, the top resources have a special effect. If you spend them, you can gain some bonuses. This is what Attila referred to as resource boost. So if I spend the might, I can gain +1 to my fate die roll. But I only have 1 might, and I'm too short, 2 values short, so that wouldn't work.
Okay.
But that's not a problem. That monster will attack me next round. That's still okay. I couldn't damage it. So if we rolled higher with the modifier than the vigilance of the monster, then we can reduce the stamina of the monster by that value. So I wouldn't be able to kill it anyway, even if I rolled the 6, I think. No, if I rolled the 6, no, then not
that would have been 3 damage.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, because obviously we've spoken a lot about mechanisms there. When you lure a monster, you roll the fate die. You then add, at the moment it's +2, but you're saying that's just because we're playing the prologue. And if the result that you roll plus the modifier is greater than this value in the eye, then you deal damage to the creature. So there's a potential chance that when you lure the monster, that you actually deal damage to it.
Yes, that only goes for the cover lure attack.
Right.
On the battlefield, if you lure them, you just move the card there.
Got it.
And that only goes for monsters you already fought before, and they are tapped.
But you luring that monster from there to here means that it's not here.
Yes, this is the aim of this action, to remove 1 monster from the Sentinel track and before it's too late. And
yeah. Okay. So you've played 2 cards.
Yeah, and I still have 2 cards left, which makes sense to play, 2 main action cards. So I'll I think I'll do 2 rest actions.
Okay. So rest is get 1 might or 2 spark.
Yes, I will take 1 might with 1 action and 2 sparks with the other.
Okay, so you've got 2 might and 4 spark.
Yes.
Right. And did you want to do any bonus actions?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
We can just move on to wave 2.
Right. So
which is when we switch position or swap positions.
Right. So end of wave 1. Does anything happen at the end of the wave?
No.
Right.
Yes. All the cards back to hand.
Right. All the cards come back to hand.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we move on to wave 2, where you're saying these cards swap positions.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, what happens if we were playing a 4-player game here? Would players swap between their teams?
No, in that case, that's the other team round now.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. And then once they're done with their turn, it's our turn again, or in the other fighting position. And then theirs again.
Okay.
So that's how we just... that's how the round structure is made like that. So we have 2 whole rounds with 4 players, but the rounds have like a difference between in their upkeep phase.
Right. Now you were saying just earlier on that the kind of people will play simultaneously. Is that right? Would they be actually doing their stuff at the same time?
Yes. I mean, same time. I mean, we are discussing what we want to do. Sometimes I wait for you. Sometimes you wait for me. So it's like,
Yeah, because what we don't want to do is we don't want me to take my turn, I do 4 things, and then you get involved in a combat, and suddenly I'm not able to help you with my cards because I've already, played ahead.
Yeah.
So, okay. Right, so what's our rough plan for wave 2?
All right, so what I would definitely do is to open the door where I am right now.
We should totally do that. So you play...
First, you have to draw monsters.
Oh, monsters. Yes.
Yes, there is 1 monster there.
Because you're now in the battlefield, I'm now in the cover mode.
Yes, also because I lured this nymph that goes in front of me as an engaged monster.
Oh, so this is now in front of you.
Yeah.
As a monster that you're now going to fight.
Yes, that's where you see the distract or release lured monsters, but distract is not an option for now, so we can just release it.
Okay, and you're also going to get because I go into the cover area and you go into the battlefield. Right.
Yes.
Okay, and then because you are in an area with an encounter, you draw a card. It's another nymph. These were shuffled.
Yeah. Okay. Were shuffled. Okay.
You got 2 nymphs.
In this scenario, we only have 2 type of monsters for now. So.
Okay. Now, just a quick question. There were 2 encounters in this zone that I was in. I didn't draw 2 cards though, did I? I just drew 1 card.
No, but if you move out of the cover next round, then you will draw 2 encounters.
Oh, okay. Right. Got it. So we've done that, and now it is our actions. So. You're going to try and do the challenge of opening the door.
I do. Yes. Yeah. Let's do that first. Okay.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll let you pick a number. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
2.
Number 2 says hidden chamber. The door swings open to reveal a dark chamber. The fleeting moment of hope is shattered as something lunges from the shadows, pouncing on your teammate with a sudden malevolent force. So draw a monster card and place it into your teammate's leftmost lure slot. It is...
Sorry about that.
It's another nymph.
A nymph!
There is no way out. Discard this card. Right.
Okay, sorry about that.
I thought you told me this was a cooperative game.
It could have been worse. Could have been worse. So let's make sure to place the utility cube to mark that challenge done.
Done. Okay.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, so now I still have 3 slots left and 2 monsters to fight with. And I have 4 sparks. So I do want to buy that tray, I think. So let's start with that. Let's play a main action card.
So you're going to play a main action. battlefield side up, you're going to choose the discover action.
Yeah.
And you're going to pick up this item. And what is it you're buying?
The tray.
The tray, which costs 4 spark.
Yes, and 1 or 2. 2 carry capacity, actually.
It has a 2 carrying capacity, so your carrying capacity is now down to 1.
Yes.
Right, and you now have a tray. Excellent.
And I could use that to attack the monster. So let's do that.
Okay.
Did you remove the loot token from the map?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So now just play another main action card, please.
Another main action, and this time you're going to do you're going to start a combat.
Yes.
But you're going to use this weapon. Is that right?
Yes. We will tap the weapon to mark that we used it.
Okay. So we're going to turn the weapon sideways. But what does the weapon mean?
So we get 2 dice. The first one is a blue die set to rank 3.
Yeah.
And the second one is roll.
Right. So it's a fixed blue die at rank 3, and then we're going to re-roll a yellow dice. And it says if you rolled rank 1 or 2, you're going to gain a might.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So we tap the weapon to show that you've used it. We're going to take the dice. Which is here. You're going to get the blue, and the blue is going to be at level 3. So that's you're going to hit it for 1, but it's going to do its special ability. And we're rolling the yellow, which is 3. So that means it's going to do its special ability again.
Okay, so because we have the two monsters are the same, you can just place them randomly.
Okay. Now, if you only had 1 monster, but you've rolled 2 dice, how would that work?
If you had 1 more monster?
If let's say you only had 1 monster.
Then you can decide which one to assign to the monster.
Right,
that
and
makes sense.
You just don't use the other one.
Yes, or if there is a sentinel monster on the track, you could use that to attack a sentinel monster, in which case you take the sentinel monster and place it in front of you and place the die on it. So you can engage sentinel monster. That totally makes sense if you're familiar with the game.
Now, do you want some help?
Okay. Definitely.
Okay.
I only have 1 slot left.
So what I can do...
Oh, yeah, but don't forget about our modifier, because we have a +3 modifier on the action.
Oh,
itself.
Because we're playing the prologue,
yes,
you may
and it gives...
choose to tap a weapon, and you also get +3.
Yes. So let's place the +3 modifier tokens on the nymph with the blue die,
which was
because then we can defeat it.
Right. Okay, so I forgot that when I attacked, but I think I killed it anyway.
But because you used the brawl. The brawl doesn't have that effect.
Oh, so weapon is at +3, but a brawl doesn't get the bonus.
Yeah, it doesn't count like that exactly.
Right.
Yeah. It's already a red die. So
it's already a red dice, which is got it right. I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it won't be a red die in the first scenario. So these are the bonuses you have now because you're still not weakened that much by the poison.
Yes.
So, but by the time we get to the beginning of the campaign, you will lose these benefits, but you can regain them. So this is
over the course of the campaign,
showing you what you can improve your character into and more, like an immediate threat beginning, usually done in video games.
Right. Okay. So I could, if you wanted, I could play this stunt card, which would turn that yellow 3 into a yellow 5. And at this point, I now see the reason for this. So what each player has is a reference card, which actually has the complete list of all the die faces on there to save you having to keep picking up the die and having a look at it. So you've currently got yellow rank 3. I could turn it into rank 5.
That sounds good.
You happy with that?
Yeah, sure. Sure, let's do it.
So let's play stunt, which I can do if you are within 0 to 1, which you are. So that goes there. That yellow die turns into... Sorry, it was 3. It becomes a 5. 5. Right, so at the moment, you're dealing 4 damage to this one, and you're dealing 2 damage to this one, but you're taking 1 back from that one.
Yes.
Which is probably
unless we can
fine.
do something about it.
I mean,
we might.
I could play shield, but...
Oh, yes, you can do that.
There you go. Have a shield.
Did
Oh,
you
no,
take
I
a look
can't.
at the range?
Shield is only
Because the
0.
shield is, yeah.
That makes thematic
But you
sense. Yeah.
But you have a chance to sneak to the same zone if you want to help with the shield.
Yes, but we don't. I mean, let's move forward.
not
We want to open the door, all the doors. So let's just focus on those objectives. So I think I can play one for myself. I do have a shield myself.
You do?
Yes, but I was considering moving instead to sneak into another area and take the hit instead. So let's just say I do that. I'll take the hit. You can resolve now both combat.
So, just go through this again. You're wanting to move from there.
Wait a second. I forgot about the infliction on the other nymph because I was so happy we could kill it. I didn't take that into account because then that monster will already hit me because I ran out. So the infliction of the nymph says it takes away 1 spark, but I ran out of spark.
So you're going to take 2 damage.
So I would, yes. Actually, whenever we take a damage, we always just lose 1 I-core. But the strength of the hit is how much shield you need to have against it to defend yourself against it. And this will also have another meaning from the next scenario on. But for now, that...
So 2 damage is not actually 2 I-core. It's 2 damage. And that would require 2 shields to block it. And if you don't block it, you're going to lose an I-core. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, because I do want to experiment with these rules. I am going to play my cover action in here, and I'm going to choose to sneak. So this looks like I move 1 zone, and it costs me might. Is that right?
Yes.
No,
it's just if you move 1 range further than 1 range. That's
okay. So I move from here into here.
Yes.
Right, and now because I'm now in the same area as you, I play my shield 2. Oh no, sorry, it's shield 1.
Yeah.
Oh, it's shield 2 on me.
Yes. But shield 1 is fine.
Yeah,
on the other
protect
names.
That one. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can just place the shield token on my nymph card.
Right.
Mark that is.
Okay, got it.
Like that.
Now, just a quick question about the 4-player game. Can you only do this on your teammate?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
The other team first is spectating, and they can also chip in ideas like, okay, what if you did that or this? Because it's still cooperative, but they're waiting for their turn.
Yes, but I can only play my boost cards on you, and you can only play yours on me. Right.
Yeah. So that's why we have the alpha team and the beta team. Yeah.
And that's why there are special rules for the 3-player game, because otherwise 1 player would be on their own. I see. Right.
Yes, exactly. And remember, we are going to reshuffle the fighting positions at the end of the round. So with 4 players, you're going to end up in different teams.
Yes. Okay. That all makes sense. So are you now going to resolve this combat?
Oh, yeah. We could resolve both of them, actually. Okay. So let's do that.
So we've got 2 nymphs. You've got dice on them. And you're now going to choose to resolve both of these combats. So now, when you resolve the combat, you resolve both of them. You can't just choose to resolve one. Is that right?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, okay,
So
right.
you could just resolve. We could have resolved the first one when we placed the die. So that's fine. We
Right.
just didn't do it.
Can you end your turn without having resolved the combat?
Oh, they will be resolved by default if you so no, you have to resolve them.
You have to resolve them.
And
yeah.
the
Okay.
ones the ones without die, they will be automatically resolved as an infliction.
Got it. Right. So this one, it's 1 damage from the die, but then +3 because we're playing the prologue scenario. So that's 4 damage, which is enough to kill it. But it still gets this. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. Which is lose 1 spark or 2 damage.
Which
and
I
as you
don't
said,
have.
you don't have
Yeah.
any spark, so it's 2 damage. That 2 damage is not blocked, which means you're going to lose 1 of your icors. So one of these is removed. Right. And that's that one done. And that, because you killed it, it's turned upside down.
Yes.
This one, you've dealt 2 damage to it, so we need to mark that with this, so it's got 2 left.
Exactly.
It's dealing 1 damage to you, but you've got 1 shield, so you don't take any actual wounds.
Yes. So now we just tap the card once.
Once, right, okay. So once means you have resolved that combat.
Yes.
Turning it all the way around
That also
means you've
means-
resolved the combat and you've killed it.
Yes. Resolve the combat means you cannot interact with that monster anymore. So you
Yes.
cannot add another die to it.
Got it.
That combat is already done.
Yeah. So those 2 are done, but you've still got 1 slot left.
Yes. All right. So I will just sneak. I think sneak to another zone.
You can't sneak
Like.
because you're in
move.
battlefield mode.
Oh, then
move.
And if I move, then I will need to draw a monster card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay,
just drain.
then I will lure that monster, which I just or I could drain. That's true. Yeah, let's drain that monster I killed.
Now, remind me, you can only drain a monster if it's been killed?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I can. I don't want to start. I don't have another weapon, so I can't start another combat. I don't have anything in the zone to discover, and I don't have a spark. And I don't want to move because I would have to draw another monster, which I don't want to fight right now. So I will just drain or lure. So and I decided to drain the monster
So
for
what would you like?
2 spark.
2 spark. 1,
Yeah.
2.
I do
Right.
have enough my time.
Okay, right. So I've only got 1 slot left, but my options are sneak, which I might do actually, because I want to kind of. Oh no, because I'm going to be in battlefield mode next time. No, I'm not. The cards are going to be shuffled, aren't they? Yeah.
Not necessarily because we are reshuffling the position cards now.
Okay, so yeah, I will play. Because I don't think yeah. No, that's fine. I'm going to play the action. I'm going to sneak, and I'm going to go from here into here. Right.
Okay.
And that's it.
Cool.
So, wave 2 is over, I believe.
Yes.
So we do the end of the wave. We get all of our cards back, and now we go to shuffle positions. So that's
one thing is remains that the undefeated monster and unlured monster go to the center track.
So this one goes to the central track. It keeps its 2 damage that it took.
Yes.
Okay. And which other one?
No, just that one actually. And
these 2 are dead, and that one's lured.
We actually drained those, so they should be face down. So the evolution of a card is like tap it once if you just damaged it, tap it twice if you killed it, and flip it face down if you drained it.
Right.
So, and then it will move into.
It can't be drained again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why you can't just get rid of these cards?
No, we can. It happens at the end of the wave actually.
Right.
So we can. So yours should be already in the discard pile, and now mine is moving there. So whenever, yeah.
I'm just going to put them there.
Yes.
Right, okay. So, shuffle positions is the next thing on the list. That's these.
Yes.
Okay. Right, so I've got cover and you've got battlefield.
Okay, so we stayed in the same position.
Yep. We have
you can
untap.
ignore untap. Yes, you can ignore that one and visit pushing limits too.
Well,
so
is it
we
not
just,
your tray? Does your tray not untap?
Oh, yeah, actually, yes.
There you go.
So
Okay.
then just ignore visit pushing limits then. And we also trigger the conditions now.
So
and
poison.
Remember, we are present.
Yeah, got it.
So we lose one ichor. Whenever we lose an ichor, we are not just spending it. We are placing it on our character card. There are these wound slots, these sun-like icons on the character card, actually. And it doesn't make much sense for now. But from the next scenario on, these will be wounds that have special effects.
Right.
Usually not something good for you. Just to remember how this works. Yeah.
Okay, right. So that's the end of upkeep. And I believe that is the end of the first round.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So round 2. So monsters engage.
Yeah.
So that's yourself, because you're in the battlefield, you're here.
Yes.
So you found, is it another nymph?
Yeah.
It's another nymph.
Yes, it's another nymph. Are there any other cards in that?
I'm just going to check the deck. Yeah, there are other cards in here.
Okay. That's fine.
But to be fair, as you say, this is the prologue. There's only 2 different types of creatures in here. There will be more in other scenarios. Right. So we've done that. We've done monsters engage. We've now got actions in whatever order we want to. But shall I go first and shall I do the challenge and try and open this door? Because that's what the aim of this scenario is.
You're in cover, so you will only be able to do this in wave 2. So I'm gonna.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's yeah. I forgot. It's not.
I'm on the battlefield right now.
Yeah.
So I want to move to a zone where I can open the door for sure.
Okay.
So let's start with that.
So you play an action to
I
move.
didn't ignore the monster, so it's on the track instead. So I only have an imp in front of me, so that's fine if I draw another monster. I'm gonna have to move 2 zones away, I think, because there is no open door challenge in the middle zone. So I'm.
It costs you 1 nectar to move an extra zone. Is that right?
That's true. And I'm moving through the salad bar into the musicians zone.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, explain to me this thing here on the player board. Because you've moved rather than sneaked, something happens.
That only means I need to draw another monster card.
And is that because you moved into an area with monsters or out of an area?
Yes. So it teaches you the basics of how you get the attention of monsters in each area, but it will be more interesting from the next scenario on. For now, you only need to remember that when you move on the battlefield, you also encounter monsters. That's why you just draw another monster card.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if there's any actual figures on the board. It's just you always get a monster.
Yes, in this case, yes. But from next scenario on, even the number of encounters will be taken into consideration. Yeah.
Well, you found another nymph. So there we go.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna see anything else. Awesome. Okay.
And are you then going to do the challenge?
Yes, let's do the challenge.
Okay, so you're doing not that. You're doing that.
That one. Yes.
Pick a number, 1, 2, or 3.
3.
Jaws of Death. As you open the door, one set of jaws of Cerberus greets you with a menacing snarl, followed by a quick attempt to bite you. So it's 2 damage. You can use shield tokens against it.
Okay. All right. So
now your shield isn't as your battlefield shield isn't as good as mine.
Yeah, that's true. But you can help me out.
You can combine it together.
We could if we were in the same zone, but we're not, and that's fine. I can take that bite.
Okay,
that's okay.
So it's another one of those.
Yep. All right. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's fight some monsters.
Okay. So you're going to start a combat, which is a battlefield action. I assume you're going to use your tray.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So it is a blue 3 and a yellow roll. So the blue goes on a 3, and the yellow roll is a 1. I'm really good at rolling dice.
Okay. Awesome. That's fine. So don't worry about it.
We've got things that we can do.
Absolutely.
What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to do the that thunder I planned before, which cost me 1 might.
Oh, it does, yes. So 1 might is the cost in the top left.
Yeah, so sometimes powerful cards have a might cost.
Yeah. So your might goes down to 1, and that adds 2 levels to the yellow dice.
No. I do the blue one instead.
The blue one. So the blue one goes up to 5.
Yes.
Oh, that's 3. But you're also going to get plus 3.
Yeah, and we forgot to add the plus 3 modifier.
Yeah.
Which yeah.
I mean, that's very close.
Oh, and actually, I got a might for the tray. Remember, if you roll a rank 1 or 2, I get a might. So I already got it back.
Special ability of the tray. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm just considering placing this plus 3 on the other.
So there are, I've just noticed on this thing, there are other options that you've got. You can spend Nectar to deal an extra damage.
Oh yeah, cool. That's actually a good idea. Then I will place my plus 3 from the default attack on the other nymphs.
On the yellow die.
Spend 1 nectar. Yes, and spend 1 nectar for this blue die, so it's enough to.
So that is a plus 1. And can you spend another nectar to add another plus 1 to this?
Yes.
I could anytime basically, but I don't want to do it now.
Okay.
I'll just let's just resolve the one combat I'm happy with.
That goes on there. That goes on there. That goes on there. That goes on there. And you're now going to resolve that combat.
Yes. Yes.
And you've dealt 4 damage to it. It doesn't attack you back. So we simply just turn that like that. That combat has been resolved.
Awesome.
Okay.
And all my slots are gone?
Yep.
Okay. So, can you help me with the reroll?
I can, because that's a 1, and a 1 is rubbish, isn't it? So I can play Feint if you are within 2, which you are.
And we are.
So
okay, so then let's hope for something good.
I rolled a 6.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay. That's perfect.
It's dead.
Perfect. Okay. Then we killed it, right?
Yep.
I mean, I'm just puzzled because I'm looking at the pixelated version of the screen and I never know what's going on.
It was 2 damage plus 3, so you've overkilled it.
Awesome. Great. Then we're good. And I'm happy to end here.
Right.
So let's see what you want to do.
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I've still got 3 slots left. I don't want to sneak because I want to be in this zone, ready to try and open this door. Yeah. So my options are I could heal, I could spend one nectar to get one ichor back, but I'm not in any desperate need for that. I can't.
But as you see, it can go quickly.
It can.
But I leave it up to you.
Can I lure attack? Can I take this nymph?
Yes, you can.
Or I could rest. Or I could do all of those things and more.
Yeah. I think that makes sense to do all of those.
Yeah. So I'm going to play that card to rest, and I will get I'll get 2 spark, since I don't have any spark. Right. Then I'm going to play another cover action, and we are going to lure. So the thing that I'm luring is this one. Is that right?
Yes.
Right. So I take this, I put it here. You can actually have 3 slots.
Normally you would place it into the leftmost slot and push the other monster down the line, but that doesn't matter now. Just
okay. There we go.
Like that.
So I'm rolling this. I've rolled a 4. I'm adding 2 because we're playing the prologue, so I've rolled a 6.
Yeah.
6 is more than 5. So how much damage have I done?
1. Because
it's that minus that.
The damage.
Right. Yeah, but if you spend 1 might,
that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to spend 1 might to increase that 4 to a 5. Plus the 2 is 7. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 damage, it's dead. So that goes upside down here.
Oh, because it was already damaged.
It was already damaged.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I have a rules question. Can you use might to increase the fate die beyond a 6?
No.
Okay. That should be clarified in the rules. Unless it already is. I don't know. So you're physically turning the dice to a new phase rather than just a +1. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well that was
according to the iconography, it means that it should be within the die, and then the other icon is over the die. So that's fine to know. But
so I can't drain because I'm not in battlefield mode, but
yes,
I can heal. So I spend 1 might. No, sorry, it's not 1 might. It's 1 nectar. Spend 1 nectar to heal thyself.
Yeah. And because you cannot drain, the monsters you defeat in cover go into the discard pile right away, but it's just a small technical thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, but that's it. That's the end of that turn.
That's cool. Very cool.
Yeah. It's going a lot quicker now that I know the rules.
Yeah.
So that was wave 1. So at the end of wave 1, cards come back. Both of your monsters, do they stay there or do they go as well?
They died, so they can go away, yeah.
Right, so you can no longer drain them. You have to basically drain them on your turn.
Yes,
before they disappear. Right, makes sense. Got it. That untaps. Does it untap? No, it doesn't untap.
No.
Wave 2. We swap positions. Monsters engage. So I'm now in the battlefield. You're now in cover. I get a monster, and it is... It's a nymph.
A nymph!
It's becoming a bit of a joke. I am going to show this deck at the end of the stream just to show that there are other monsters in there. Right. Well, shall I go first then, and I'll do the battlefield action and the challenge.
Yeah, let's see the engaging monsters first. So where you are, there are actually 2 encounters. So now you draw 2 monster cards.
Oh, that should have been 2, should it?
Yes. And also you have another monster lured, so that's also coming in front of you.
Oh, okay, so I've got 3.
Remember, I told you it makes sense to heal.
You did. Right.
Don't expect too much good after opening the door.
We've finally drawn another monster. So I am now facing
also a satyr.
2 nymphs and a satyr. Right, okay. So these are mine. So just to clarify, in the engage monster step, because I was in an area with 2 figures, I draw 1 monster for each. And then because I had lured 1, that lured 1 attacks me as well. So I've actually got these 3 that I'm fighting. Right. So these figures on the board, again, we mentioned this at the start. These don't represent the actual monsters, and these figures don't actually get removed.
At the moment, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For this scenario, there are permanent encounters in here. Got it.
Yes.
It just makes people think when they see a miniatures game, you've just got to think a different way. These are not just miniatures that you kill and monsters you get rid of. Right.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but there will be ways to remove them from the board, move them around, and also there will be new ones added to the board. So there is a system we are building up with the different scenarios, so you get familiar with everything, how the game works, and then you will find ways to interact with everything, basically.
Got it. Right, here we go then. A fierce welcome. That doesn't look good. So this is going to be a longer playthrough than normal because, oh no, I thought one of the door cards was going to be it opens. How do we get out again? Right.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
A monstrous paw delivers a resounding slap to your face, sending you hurtling into the pool with sheer force. The strength behind Cerberus's greeting leaves you drenched and astonished. Move your character miniature to the zone pool. All right, so I'm in there. Draw an extra monster card. Brilliant. It's another nymph. And then roll the fate die. I've rolled a 4. 4 says I lose 1 might and 2 spark, or presumably that means I take an ichor damage.
Yeah.
So I can lose 1 might and 2 ichor. Sorry, I can lose 1 might and 2 spark. Can I choose to take the ichor instead?
Yes.
You should probably do that because you have 4 monsters to fight, so it's the safer way to spend the resources.
Well, no, I'm going to take the ichor actually.
Okay.
Because I think I want this for something else. Right. Okay, so now there's this other card over here called Special Scene.
I think we forgot to place the utility cubes. There is already only one more door to open.
We did. So I'm curious as to how we get that special scene. There's nothing that's told me.
If you take a look at the objective part of the map, left side, that's where it says.
So we've got to open all the 5 doors, and that's when the special scene happens. Right.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, I'm facing 4 monsters, but I have my skewer. So.
And you have me. Don't forget about me.
Okay, right. Well, let's work out how we're going to do this. I can't brawl, but I could spend 2 nectar to refresh it, and then I could brawl.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to need to do that because.
And don't forget, you don't have to assign a die to a monster.
Mm-hmm. So I am going to spend 2 nectar to refresh my ability as a bonus action. I am then going to use my bonus action, and it is a red 2, which, as we've realised, is actually not good, but I'm going to play cards to make it better.
Yeah, and what Attila said is actually quite important. You can decide not to place any die to a monster and just resolve it as an infliction. If you are fine with them moving to the Sentinel board, or if you have like another action to lure them. So we have 3 slots open on the Sentinel board, so we are actually not in such a bad position.
Yeah,
because we took care of it. Yeah.
But I can't fancy trying to kill one of them. So I've got all sorts of choices here. I could play Wisdom, which reduces the die from red to blue, but then increases it by 2. Oh, I've got my skewer. That's what we want to do. I've got my skewer. So I've put that dice on there. I am going to play a battlefield action to attack with my skewer. So my skewer says I roll the blue dice, and if I roll a 6, I discard it. The skewer breaks. Okay, so we're going to roll the blue dice and see what we get. I rolled a 3, But because we're playing the prologue and we're all really strong, it's +3. So that's actually 4 damage. So that's that one sorted. I mean, I could feint to roll a dice, so I can't use that. So we were looking at this, weren't we? If I decrease that down to there, do that. That's 2. How much might have I got? Sorry, not might, nectar. I could use my nectar to kill another one. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to resolve this combat now. So this combat against the nymph, I have dealt 4 damage to it, so it's gone. But it does its attack back on me, and I'm just going to lose 1 spark. So that's gone over like that. What I'm then going to do is I am going to do another battlefield action to drain, and we're going to drain this one, and we're going to get... We'll get 2 spark, actually. Yeah, that's fine. We'll get 2 spark. Because then I'm actually okay. I can then just take the hit on these, and they'll go up there, but that's not going to end the scenario. I'm going to try and get rid of this one if I can.
Or Zeus can help you.
Or Zeus can help me.
It's so great to see you get the game and exploit all the options we have. I'm just,
I think considering
all tears now.
Considering 2 hours ago I knew nothing about the game, I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah, absolutely. You're doing it great.
Have you got a way that you can increase my dice or add to the damage that I can do?
Yeah, sure. I think my hand is missing 1 card. So I think that one would give you a nectar or something. But I do have...
You've got ball lightning.
I
don't know what that does.
Yes. The burst symbol, which you have in mind or in hand, that will deal a damage to a monster, any monster. And it also, if it's on a die, that can be that to another monster you place the die to.
So
and it cannot be...
Wisdom. I'm going to drop the red die down to a blue die, but then increase it from a 2 to a 4. So I'm currently dealing 2 damage to that nymph. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 1 nectar to deal an extra 1 damage. And then if you can play ball lightning, which can be used at a range of 1,
yes,
then that's going to deal an extra damage to it. And then I'm going to resolve that combat, which kills it. And it deals 1 damage to me, which I'm not going to protect. So I take a wound on my knee. And then that is gone but not drained. Right, I think that's pretty much my go. Whew. So I'm going to get hit from these 2, and then they're going to go up there.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Rules question. Can you lure a monster which is in another player's area, is attacking them?
No.
There are ways to do that. Like, not right now, but there are certain, like, I think one of the characters can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I can still resolve my round, right? I still have 3 slots. I want to sneak to the ballroom, or the thrones, sorry. We are in the ballroom, but the thrones, for which I need to spend the might.
Do you?
Yes, because it's 1 further.
Oh, sorry.
You see,
no,
you cannot.
You were here.
You cannot cross that line. Yes, I need to move into the pool area and then to the throne.
Oh right, I see. Yeah, so there's a solid white line.
So there are solid white line and no connecting arrows. That's where you cannot cross the. Yeah.
So you have to spend a might. You are down to 1 might.
Yeah.
Okay, because you sneaked.
I also need to heal because I'm down to 2 ichors. So I want to heal 1 for sure.
You play an action. You spend a nectar, Your nectar is down to 2. And you heal.
I cannot lure attack because there is no one there.
Mm-hmm.
So my last action is either another heal, but we're probably doing,
Or a rest.
Maybe it's another heal, just to be sure.
There you go. Down to 1 nectar. Right. And we're all done?
Yep.
So, end of the wave. So this hits me and deals either 1 spark or 2 damage. I'll take the spark. And this hits me and deals either 1 might or 2 damage. I'll take the might. Okay, and then these 2 go up there.
Yes.
That one was dead. That one is dead. That was the end of wave 2. So we take our actions back. We untap our weapons. We trigger conditions. So we both take a damage from the poison.
Yes.
And we shuffle the positions. Okay. And we're back to the start of the wave. And we need to do monsters engage. So you're in the battlefield. I'm now in cover. And because you're in the battlefield and there are 2 monsters there, you get 2 monsters. It's 2 satyrs.
Okay, there are the satyrs finally. they have 6 stamina, so they're harder to defeat. So we were quite lucky to only find them.
So we are at risk now. Is if you don't kill both of these, then they're going to go up there, and we lose the scenario.
Yes, if both of them go up there, so it's fine to have 3 cards there. Just the 4th one. So,
but you could now attempt this open door.
Absolutely, we're gonna start with that.
So you're going to do the challenge. So pick a card.
That one.
This one, okay, good choice. Jammed door. The door is stuck. No matter how hard you tug, it won't open. Meanwhile, a monster sneaks up on you from behind. Draw a monster card.
Oh man.
It's another satyr. Roll a yellow die and assign it to the monster immediately. Okay, I've rolled a 1.
Oh yes, of course. It's an ambush attack, so it shouldn't have been anything better than that.
Right, there is no way out. So all of the doors are locked. However, it says here, if this was the last open door card in the deck, which it was, we now read the special scene.
Yes.
Awesome.
You've already tried every door, and they all turned out to be dead ends. While the monsters just keep coming, the poison seems to be doing its job too, and you start to lose consciousness. This scenario ends here, but your story continues in the next one. Now, I'm glad I didn't know the outcome of this, but that answers my question of, well, what happens if we find the open door on the first turn of the game? Is a trick.
Yes.
There is no open door. There is literally no way out.
But I'm glad it wasn't clear from the get-go. I mean, after the 3rd door, it's quite... you can... But I'm glad it was a surprise in the end. I mean,
it was.
We could technically fight this last round, but we are going to end up in prison anyway.
Yes.
And we didn't want to take much time with this, or more time with this scenario as necessary.
Yeah.
So it ends here.
The objective of this game was to see what the game is about, learn the core mechanisms of the game, and then play through it. But thematically, I can see why this is a prologue. So before scenario 1, what happens is the Olympian gods have been basically captured by Hades, poisoned, weakened, and we're actually going to start off scenario 1 in a much weaker state than we are now. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely right.
Right, okay. So, yeah, that's it for this video. In the next video, we are going to be starting scenario 1. We're going to be playing the same 2 characters, but as just mentioned, they will be weaker because the poison has taken effect. And scenario 1 is actually the start of the story. But actually, I think the prologue is part of the story as well. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's part of the story, but it can be skipped because you're not improving the character. You're not taking anything from you with you from this scenario. So that's
Yes.
why we mentioned that it's that, but it's absolutely part of the story, and it's an important way that I mean an important part of the experience.
Yeah.
But once you had it, you may want to skip it if you're replaying the campaign.
Yeah, because as you say, nothing carries over. So at the start of scenario 1, it is a fixed setup no matter what happened here. But after scenario 1, things are going to stay with you over the course of the campaign.
Exactly.
Right. So we're done for now. Thank you very much to you two for joining me. Thank you to everybody for watching. I hope this video has helped you see what the game is about and see how the prologue plays. But definitely, if you're interested, join me in the next video where we are going to be playing through scenario 1, which is the start of the campaign, and you will see how it actually starts. But yes, if you're watching, thank you very much, and I will see you all next time. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.